Okay, now we can go into some real business. Already we've established how we can create fields. So I'm guessing that at this point you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever with your creation of fields in Microsoft Access. So if that is the case, now we can move on. Typically, after you've created all your tables, the tendency is to add records, which I've demonstrated how to do that. Now I want to take a few moments to make sure that we at least have a good grasp of what is happening everywhere here on the home ribbon. Now we already know that these are your views, right? And you could navigate from different views in your database. Of course, we've only talked about the data sheet view. We've talked about the design view. We've been flipping between those two. The pivot view. This is what it basically does. You might not really find yourself using this, but typically it just does one function of having you see your database in different lights, more like from a chart point of view. Okay, typically when you are using the pivot view or the chart view in this case, you tend to look at your database by way of charts. Basically that's what you basically do. Odds are that you might not really use this. You might not really use this in a very, very long time, and so I'm just going to close this so we don't like get distracted. But you can find yourself using any of these as time progresses. Okay, let's just close that and go over there. I'm not saving this. Okay, so we're going back to the table. Fine. Now the same thing too applies to your pivot table. I think the one I just showed you was the chart view. The pivot table is also a kind of chart as well, where you basically work with your database by bringing out the various fields, and fixing them on the table there. I'm just going to close that as well because we're not going to use that. All right, so that's what happens, or that's what you basically use the other views for. Of course, you know how to play around with your copy, paste, and the other guys there. So meaning that if we're trying to copy a record from this field or this area to another area, you could just right click on that and you have your copy record there. Okay, and if we wanted to add a new record probably in between or after this, we'll just click on new, and we were able to add records. That will be at the bottom, of course. My bad. Okay. Under your sort and filter group, you basically have just one option. Basically, yeah, and I'd say one option. You're just arranging your records in ascending or descending order. So notice that when you click on ascending, your whole records are arranged in alphabetical order. Okay. Sorry, let's click on that field. That's what should happen. Okay, you see that changing, and in descending order you see that changing on clicking on the particular field. Okay, that's how the guy works. Okay, so if we remove the sorts, it takes it back to normal. We're taking it back to ascending, we're taking it back to descending, or remove that. That's generally what would happen if you're trying to check your selection of the specific one you're interested in looking for. We're saying not equal to blah blah blah, no equals to blank, does not equal to blank. We're just trying to see what the information should be like, and then we could of course clear our filters. Okay, and everything just comes in back to us. That's what the filter does. So basically we can easily then say that the sorting and filter does two jobs. One, rearrange your data, and then the filter helps you view specific records that you want to view, excluding the specific records that you do not want to do. If you recall what you had learnt in the Corel Draws series, I mean the Microsoft Excel series, where we demonstrated how we use the filters, is the same thing that happens here. Okay. Now under the records group, we do a couple of things. You could create your records, you could save records after you've worked with them, you could refresh. Refreshing does one thing. Whenever you make any change to your table or any particular database object you're working with, your refresh all kind of affects or makes sure that every other record in your database knows about the change that has occurred. Okay, you find this refresh button very useful, particularly when we'll be using relationships. That's something we'll do in another video. Okay, so that's what these guys do. And so if we actually pick a record now, you notice that the delete button is turned on, so we can delete a record. Without a record selected, you don't really see that working. Okay, your totals creates a new field for you just down there where you could compute in brief whatever records that you could have. Okay, spelling checks for whether you have any spelling errors, and if there is one, right now I don't have one. If there's one, you should see suggestions as to how to correct such. Okay, and the more button there allows you to do some things like freeze fields. You remember we doing freezing of rows and columns. That's generally what you do. You want to increase your row height and all of those stuff. That is essentially what the more there would do for you. Okay, fine. Now moving over to the find field, here you're trying to look for a particular record. So we're assuming that probably this particular table has plenty information, probably as much as 1,000 or more. Don't mind me, I like thinking big because that's where I want you guys to be. Okay, so assuming that you have plenty records there, okay, you want to find a particular record. That is what the find button there does. So you just look for the button, or I mean the record you want to get. So say we're looking for Mercy, okay, and then click on find next. You'd see Mercy as a record is highlighted. Okay, if we click on next, the next Mercy is also going to be selected, and subsequently the next one is going to be selected. That is essentially what your find does. Your replace does one thing. When you find a particular item and you want to replace it with another record, you could change it. So we found Mercy and probably wanted to replace Mercy with let's say Peter. Okay, and then we click on replace. Notice that Peter or Mercy has been replaced by Peter. Okay, that's what the replace does. And goes to either your first record, your next record, or your last record. That's essentially what it does for you. Okay, and select could select the particular record where your cursor is located, or select all will select every section of your table. Okay, of course you already know how you could play around with your text here, so I don't think I should discuss that. So typically that is what your home ribbon is about. It's really no big deal. I'm sure you've realized that already by now. It's really no big deal. Okay, so going forward now, we can go over to the create tab, where we've already visited earlier on, but we've also mentioned that you could create a table from here. Okay, so typically what we're going to do right now is to go a step further in working more with our table. Okay, we're going to see some extra stuff we can do with our table. So as it is now, I'm sure that with a good grasp of how all of these groups in the home ribbon work, you should be able to work nicely with your table. Of course, you already have a table tab there where you could make some change to your table arrangement or properties. Okay, and whatever you want to do before events and blah blah blah, you could take a look at them. And also you want to take advantage of the help tool there, where you can easily understand, or should I say, have a preview of what each of the tools do. So for instance, the before change, it says it creates logic that runs before a record is saved to validate changes. Let's just ignore that for now. Okay, let's just ignore that for now, so that we don't get confused. All right, so just keep in mind that that's what it's going to happen. Okay, so before we wrap up, I'd like you to do something for me right now. Your second table, if you have created the one I just did, I'd like us to enter create two fields. Let's say in this particular field, in this particular table, we wanted to add two items, like let's say students. No, let's use this. Let's say name of guardian. Okay, and then let's say contacts number of guardian. Okay, I think that works. We're looking at the data type of what number. All right, so we look using that, and then we're going to click on OK. So we have two different tables. That is my students record table, and then I have my new table. So let me change the new table name to guardians table. So rename. Okay, I have an error. Can you guys remember what this error is about? Are you sure you remember? Yeah, I'll need to close that. I didn't close that, so I had to close it, and so I can rename it now to guardians table. Yeah, guardian. Sorry, that is am I spelling it well? No, I am not. That should be guardians. I think I was. It's funny how English just leaves us. Okay, guardians table. That's it. Guardians table, and that is safe. So with the guardians table all set up, we're good to go. So we're going to in the next video. I'd like you to do this meantime. Okay, make sure it's ready. So in the next video, we're now going to go ahead to work with relationships. Okay, we're going to work with relationships and see how that works. I am sure you're going to like what's going to happen there. It's going to freak a whole lot of people out, so I'd really warn you in advance. Okay, tighten up your seatbelts, but it's actually no big deal. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So I'll be seeing you guys in a bit.